Very good morning to you.
Hi, good
in a
morning.
way, you're a result of getting in touch with us and telling us a story about this ridiculous scenario with the Home Office where they bought for 15 million quid Northeye prison, I suppose it would be known as, right? Down in Bexhill, which they wanted to house a lot of migrants in, and it now turns out, after a great campaign by yourselves, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, thank you. So there was the public inquiry on Monday, and shortly before the inquiry opened, we got notice that they're not going to use it. So that's after 20 months.
Yes.
And actually, yes, we got in touch with you in the first half of next year, and thank you, because you've kept the story, you've taken an interest, and you personally have even been there.
Yes, I have. I went and had a look, because it is down in the sort of neck of the woods that I spent time at the weekend, and it's an old military prison, basically, which was bought by the Home Office for way over the odds, as I recall, because the last people who had previously bought it paid, what, 8 million for it, I think. So
a company called Brockwell paid 6 million for it last year, and the Home Office paid 15 million, although they've withheld some money for restoration, because there might be asbestos there, and they're currently in dispute as to how much that money will be withheld.
So what are they going to do with it now that they're not going to use it for a migrant camp then?
It goes on the government list for 8 weeks, and after that I believe it will go on the open market, and somebody might offer them £6 million.
Right, so they'll have done an intermediate deal to lose minimum 6 million for the public purse, possibly 8.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it? I mean, the public sector, we've just been talking there to a safeguarding expert from the social services who just couldn't bring herself to say that they didn't have a system that worked. She couldn't bring herself to do it. She said she wasn't defending what happened, but she just was incapable of admitting that the system's failing.
Yeah, and at the inquiry on Monday, the chair asked about the details of the person who did the negotiation with Brockwell. And that was an independent contractor who agreed a ridiculous clause, which is that if it wasn't completed within 6 weeks, the Home Office had to pay, I think, £500,000 and running, depending on how long it took. And that's just an incredibly stupid clause, but the Home Office people sort of thought it was okay. Yeah,
they seem to agree to things which nobody in their right mind in the commercial sector would ever agree to, because they don't have to worry about the money, do they? It's not their money. It's our money.
And there was a nice section on innovation, which the guy from the Home Office defined as basically cocking it all up.
Yeah, right. So the residents of Bexhill must be grateful to you for having not, or having to stymie, because for people who haven't followed the story, the Northeye sort of site, if you like, is at the end of a very quiet residential cul-de-sac, where I saw, you know, little trampolines in the front gardens, you know, kids obviously all over the place, and what they don't need is 900 to 1,000, you know, male, young, you know, asylum seekers in a prison which is effectively open that they could walk in and out of.
Yeah, and I think what the Home Office didn't realise is that they thought Bexhill was a sleepy place. Yeah. Like you say, a lot of people have moved there for the peace and quiet, but when they see that their peace and quiet might be removed from them, they stood up and said no. So we had hundreds of people on the protests, we had hundreds of people write a letter of no confidence to the MP who decided to quit before the election, and 2,000 people signing a petition.
Shows you that public, you know, protest does work.
Yes, and that got it on the front page of the papers. The TV ran the protests, you know, and we met all of the people who actually did something at the protests. And
so if you make it difficult for them, they won't be back, will they? So they'll go and find some other poor sap in some other community, and they'll probably try and build something there. Because I think the thing that we learn from this experience is that if you do challenge government and you make it difficult for them, then they'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, Scampton stood up pretty strongly. So the new policy from the new government is that they will not do large sites, so that was a win. But they will do a larger number of smaller sites. And in the meantime, they have so-called promised to stop the arrivals, to do more returns and to process people.
Well, they put
quickly.
37 people on a plane to Pakistan apparently on Tuesday night, which is all very well, but I mean that's not enough people to fill one of the boats, which comes over on a regular basis from Calais, you know.
And people, they do need to stop them at source. If they are better than the Conservatives, that would be brilliant.
Well, they can't be worse, can they?
No.
I mean, although we said that when they got in, and look what happened. Nigel, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed.